Texas Congresswoman JAZMINE Crockette is back in the headlines following tasteless jokes she made about Texas Governor Greg Abbott at a human rights campaign dinner in Los Angeles.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess, honey.
This is another day and another disaster by the Democrats. The reality is they have no vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate. And Americans are not buying it.
This girl then gone and called Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels. Now, a lot of people are going to hear that and say, what's wrong with her calling him Governor Hot Wheels, right? A lot of people who even watched the human rights campaign dinner or saw clips of it were lost as to why there was so much backlash concerning her referring to Greg Abbott as Governor Hot Wheels. Well, here's the problem. When Greg Abbott was 29 years old, a tree fell on him in a horrible accident, rendering him paralyzed from the waist down. If you see pictures of Governor Abbott, you will notice that they are primarily taken from the waist up. The people who claim to be advocates of the less fortunate, claim to be fighters on behalf of the victims and the marginalized groups within our society, well, they're all turning out to be nothing more than a bunch of victimizers who take cheap shots at people who are disabled. Now, JAZMINE Crockette is no stranger to controversy. She oftentimes says crazy things off the cuff, especially since she's adopted her new ghetto hood rat persona. What once was an eloquent, sophisticated young Black woman has now morphed into a middle-aged, aspiring 304 who now, for some reason, believes that cursing and using derogatory language in front of news cameras makes her a fighter who is battling against the offenses committed by the Trump administration. I mean, the girl she's neck swinging, she's finger snapping, she's gum popping. She's doing everything you would expect from one of these women that patrol the streets in Los Angeles, specifically Figueroa and Long Beach Boulevard. If you know, you know. I don't understand why the representative of Texas's District 30, this area right outside of Dallas, including parts of Dallas around Duncanville, a predominantly African-American area. I don't understand why a woman who, for the majority of her career, has been a living testament or a living rebuttal to stereotypical or stereotypes that are associated with Black women, has now chosen to align herself with behavior that is unbecoming of any Black woman or any woman, period, but behavior that Black women have fought against being identified with or identified by for so long. It doesn't really make sense, but it goes along with it's not even a theory at this point because it's been proven. The Democrat Party is totally fine sacrificing its Black members in the name of the reacquisition of power. They don't mind sacrificing a couple of Black people if they think at the end of the day it will result in them gaining power, specifically the presidency. We've watched Jamal Bowman with the infamous fire alarm pulling. We've watched people like Nina Turner, Fonnie Willis, throw away their political careers in the name of standing in solidarity with the Democrat Party, their party. But if every time someone has to get the axe or make a sacrifice or throw themselves on the sword, if you will, if every time someone from the Democratic Party has to do that, that someone is African American, a group that is already underrepresented in our political sphere, our political theater. I mean, at what point do you realize that you're nothing more than just an expendable shield who throws yourself on the sword so that your white and Latino counterparts like Andrea Ocasio-Cortez continue to make advancements and move up the ladder politically? JAZMINE Crockette is playing a very dangerous game, particularly because her demographic, the people who support the Democrats, they are a group of people who are always looking for a reason to be offended. So they will turn on you in an instant if they feel that turning on you, cannibalizing on you, will make them appear to be more virtuous.
She's new. She's young, and she's trying to find her way. I think that this party is scrambling, trying to seem tough. And I'm seeing this party traffic in a lot of curse words. That's supposed to be like the new cool thing to do. I don't think that that's going to be as useful. I even heard Pete Buttigieg with a whole bunch of curse words. I don't know who gave that memo. I don't think that's very useful. I think you have to be very careful when you're talking about people with disabilities. And I don't think she was careful. And I don't know her enough to say she's not being honest. But I'm going to tell you, it sounded bad. And I just want to finish. I think this party is trying to find a way to look tough and to show fight, but this is not the way. I don't think the cursing is going to work. I think I've been on stage and I've gotten a little bit hyped sometimes too. I hope that she will take this as lessons. You talked about learning lessons, that type of stuff. It doesn't sound to me like she's actually taking full responsibility. If that's true, I don't like it, and she can't do that again. She's too important to us to do that again.
What I fear,
if that is the gauge by which they measure their legitimacy, you will simply become another person who lost everything, like Jamal Bowman, at the hands of your own demographic, your own party, and the people who support it, because you thought you were being funny. That's why I really can never identify or associate myself with the radical liberal wing of our political system, because you're like a bird who has nowhere to land. Even making a joke around these people can result in you losing everything. Cenk Uygur, the owner of the Young Turks Network, he's being attacked. I consider Cenk one of the wokest of the woke. But he is now being attacked because he had the audacity to sit down with Dr. Phil and discuss today's current political climate. He just sat down and had a conversation. And his woke, radical leftist audience turned on him completely. Like, how do you move ahead when you can't even have a conversation? What type of world do these people aspire to create where you can't even make a joke without risking having your life destroyed? Now, when she called the man Governor Hot Wheels, I'm not gonna lie, it was funny. I do have a sense of humor. It was funny. Donald Trump does joke about people, and I laugh at that. So I gotta be fair. But it's not just conservatives who are coming after this woman. It's her own ilk. It's her own club. The View, Whoopi Goldberg, and the other chicks, as I like to call them. They are now attacking JAZMINE Crockette for the joke she made about Governor Abbott.
Last night, Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to a comment made about him by JAZMINE Crockette. And we're going to show you. Take a look.
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot ass mess, honey.
This is another day and another disaster by the Democrats. The reality is they have no vision, no policy. They have nothing to sell but hate. And Americans are not buying it.
They're not.
Now, Congresswoman Crockett denies she was mocking Abbott's disability. She says she was referring to his use of trains, planes, and automobiles to transfer migrants around the country. She should not have made the comment at all, but
It be your own people, man. It be your own people. You see Whoopi up there? Oh, well, we ain't gonna make no jokes, period. She shouldn't have said it. Da, 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 da. Listen, why do these people turn on people when they do something tasteless, when they've been applauding and cheering tasteless behavior for the past 10 years? These politicians aren't like real people. They basically behave in the way they believe their constituents want them to behave. They behave in a way that they think will garner them more support. So if JAZMINE CROCKETTE is acting like a ghetto hood rat 304, she's doing that because she thinks that in some way that connects her with her base. So one moment you cheer degenerate behavior. The next moment, when it has the potential to damage the Democrat Party, you're condemning it. Whoopi, you just did a racism hoax with a bakery in New York, claiming that they didn't want to give you the cupcakes you wanted because you were black. In no way, shape, or form could these people have even known your race, because I know you ain't in there ordering cupcakes saying, hey, they for Whoopi Goldberg. But you use that as a way to launch a hoax, a false claim of racism being directed at you. After you done spent your whole life nursing at the teat of white folks, specifically Hollywood. They do it all the time. But it's rules for thee, but not for me. These people are totally arbitrary and selective. One person can do something, but if another person does it, one person can do something and it's fine. Nobody bats an eye. But if another person does it, it's a problem. Who wants to live in a world like that? I don't want that to be America. If that takes us forgiving JAZMINE CROCKETTE for what she did and brushing it off like it was just a tasteless joke and no harm, no foul, let's do that. If that takes us holding her accountable and pressing her to the point she never does it again, let's do that. But whatever we do to one person, we have to make sure we do that to everybody. Because the minute you don't, you become arbitrary. And the minute you become arbitrary, you lose all credibility and no one wants to listen to you. Except for people who are themselves arbitrary and selective. And trust me, those type of people will never be around when you need them. I know from experience.